Right now, Coloradans are facing millions of dollars in cleanup costs for more than 180,000 abandoned oil and gas wells.
Denver 7's Angelica Albaladejo met up with a family in Adams County dealing with one of those orphan wells in a new way.
It's really nice to be out here and have space and quiet and see the stars at night. It's gorgeous.
That's why Cindy McCormick and her husband Ronald decided to build their forever home here in the sprawling plains with spectacular mountain views. But they're dealing with an unwelcome and potentially dangerous eyesore.
So here is the major oil well pump. As you can see, it's very, very old.
When they bought the land, this oil well wasn't operating anymore.
All of this was here.
But the company said it would clean everything up.
It is still here.
There's lots of old equipment, a pit in the ground.
People also see this as a dumping ground.
They don't know what's underground or what safety or environmental harms could come from it. After waiting for years,
I started calling the Pegasus company that's on the signs, and their mailbox was full, so I couldn't reach anyone.
So she called up her local government, Adams County, for help.
That's when I found out that he told me that they had went bankrupt and they pretty much abandoned and orphaned over 200 wells, including ours.
That's why the McCormicks are taking on the wells owners with a lawsuit.
We're asking that these corporations, when they bring their oil and gas wells onto the property, once they're done with them, they remove them. It's just that simple.
For Chris Carrington, one of their lawyers, this lawsuit offers the chance for a first in Colorado, holding the oil and gas industry accountable for abandoning wells through a process he calls fraud.
The scheme is an attempt to pass the buck. Oil and gas operators are well aware of their obligation at the end of the well's life to plug the well and remediate the land.
But instead of cleaning up, he says one company after another transferred ownership of the almost empty wells, from Chevron to HRM Resources to Painted Pegasus.
Essentially, what they say is, not our problem anymore. We transferred title and ownership of what is essentially a pile of garbage to this other company. It's their problem. That ends up orphaning the well and leaving it as a problem for the taxpayers.
And for families like the McCormicks,
these oil and gas wells, when they're not plugged, methane and other chemicals escape from them. If you look at Firestone, these gases escape into a basement. There's an explosion and 2 people were killed.
All of that is extremely concerning. It's not just us. It is a lot of landowners. It is a problem within Colorado as well as other states.
Reporting from Adams County,
we are hoping that they have to take accountability.
I'm Angelica Albaladejo.
We contacted the companies and people being sued by the McCormicks. None have responded.
And going further in depth, we've also followed up this week on a large-scale oil and gas operation proposed east of Aurora. Civitas is one of Colorado's largest oil and gas operators, and it's moving forward with plans to drill more than 150 wells. And people living near the planned fracking told Denver 7 last summer they're worried about environmental and health problems, including potential contamination of Aurora's main water reserves and exposure of nearby school kids to toxic chemicals.
It's been really disheartening to have everyone say, oh, you're safe, you're safe. Oh, but what about the Firestone explosion? What about all the record numbers of spills you had last year? When do we take into account that human error occurs?
Community members with concerns are now able to share their thoughts with the state as these permits are being reviewed, and you can find that on the state's website.
Today, a group of Colorado state senators introduced a bill to phase out and clean up oil and gas wells. If passed, the law would end approvals for new wells by 2030 and protect taxpayers from costs to cap and remediate old wells.